8:40. Our next two guests very interested in that story. Let's introduce them. She shot to fame in High School Musical. Now actress Vanessa Hudgens is heading in a rather different direction in the latest action fantasy film Sucker Punch.
Yes, she's swapped the classroom and singing for martial arts. For this new Hollywood role, her character Blondie is one of four girls trying to escape a brutal mental asylum.
Well, it's written, produced and directed by Zack Snyder, and we're going to be chatting to them both in a moment. First, here's a look at what you get. So Vanessa Hudgens and Zack Snyder joining us. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Vanessa, anyone who knows you from High School Musical is going to get a bit of a shock.
Yes, it's definitely unlike anything that people have seen from me before, but it's so exciting. It's so much fun. It's a crazy ride.
How would you describe it?
It's an epic action fantasy film that follows one girl's imagination into a world you've never seen before. It's about freedom and how far you would be willing to sacrifice for your friends.
And Zack, I think people will get a sense from seeing those clips. Extraordinary things you can do in films, and you sort of use this to the max in the film, don't you? The effects and what you can do with real life characters, blending them in with other things.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at the point now where you can, if you can dream it, you can do it, basically. So, you know, there's no limit to, if you've got an idea, if you've got a picture in your mind, you can pretty much make it now with the technology that's out there.
Vanessa describes it as a sort of epic freedom fantasy, and it is that. It is also incredibly violent. There is an extraordinary amount of violence in this film, and yet it has a rating of 12A. Now, do you think that, I mean, as a filmmaker, you want a low rating because you want people to go.
Yes.
But are you concerned about the fact that children might see this level of violence?
You know, with a movie like this, because it is so fantastical, and all the enemies that they fight really are, I would say, you know, dream creatures, robots and things like that. No, they're not really fighting any, you know, humans, if you will. And so, in that sense, I feel like it's true fantasy, right? I think that there are films that do kind of push that even more than our movie. I mean, I think, you know, if you look at the movie, we had a movie a little while ago called, you know, did you see Taken, you know, the Liam Neeson movie? Mm-hmm. Anyway, where it was PG-13 in the States, but it was really, I thought, it was pretty intense, and like, you know, it was.
You thought that was too low?
It's weird because I thought that was the standard, and we were, when we were trying to get the rating for our film, you know, you go to the ratings board in the States, you know, and then they say it's not government run. I don't know, and here it's government run. The ratings board.
It's an independent body, a film classification body, who make that decision. Yeah,
in the States it's just like a, you know, it's kind of self-policing organization that's complete. There's no rule, so you show them the film and then they say, yeah, we don't feel like that's.
It's very interesting territory. Vanessa, you're probably closer to that age group than any of the rest of us. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. For example, it's possible in this country that a 10-year-old could go, or a 9-year-old could go with their parents and see the film. Now, we've seen the film, and that opening sequence, that is a genuinely frightening, and because of the way you've done it, the use of the music and the imagery and the sound. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I don't know if you've got nephews or nieces. I mean, does it feel like that to you? Well, it's not a criticism of the film.
No, of course.
It's an extraordinary. You know, it has a real effect.
Yeah.
But part of the problem is you can't have both, can you? You can't present an amazing, effective scene like that and not question who should see it.
Of course. I mean, I think that there's really genuinely something for everyone to take away from it. And you take away from movies as you want, you know? And I believe that if I was a 13-year-old or 12-year-old kid coming into this movie and seeing this film, I would leave the theater feeling like I'm ready to tackle the world, you know? And I think it's very empowering. I watch the film and I feel like I can do anything if I truly set my mind to it. And I think that a lot of females will take that away from this.
But of course, you know, you really want, I mean, because I'm a huge advocate of, like, parents really like research, knowing what the movies, what's in the movie, and it's out there if you want to know. I mean, the trailer, if you can watch the trailer and get a pretty good sense of kind of action you're going to see, and you could, you know, and also people know their own kids, like, you know, your kids, like it's funny because, you know, I did that Legend of the Guardians, that owl movie. That was the last movie I did, and, you know, it was for kids, and people would always ask me, like, how young can my kid be and see this? And I'd say, look, you need to know your kid. I would say that it is, as far as an animated films go, and for kids, it's rough. It's hard for, you know, like if you have a really sensitive child and you know, then you're like, look, this isn't for them.
There's a lot of the animation is sort of reflects what these kids are seeing in video games. I mean, in some ways, it felt watching it like you were in a video game.
This movie, our movie.
Your movie, yeah. The new movie. Did it feel like that when you were making it?
You know, when we made the film, I really wanted to just sort of reflect a lot of sort of pop culture imagery. You know, the film is also, even beyond just being an action movie, the movie is also sort of an examination of genre and of sort of pop culture imagery and like what is it about. Like that's even the whole thing of like the girls and how they're dressed and what they do is it's also you have to sort of be able to look even just past the practical story bits and sort of look at the movie also in a broader sort of comment on pop culture, because it is that too. I just can't help myself when it comes to making movies to do things like that. So, you know, as far as video games go, you have to acknowledge video games at this point in our sort of visual culture because it's real. Like that's, you know, $1 billion can't be wrong.
Yeah, Vanessa, special effects, just briefly, special effects can do a lot, but you still had to do quite a lot of action, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It was amazing. It was so much fun. I got to have this awesome tomahawk fight sequence.
Really awesome.
Had you used a tomahawk previously?
Yes,
he had that slide.
Yeah, I keep one in my purse.
Maybe you're an expert.
Any injuries while filming?
Not really. I mean, we were looked out for really well. There was an amazing amount of soreness. I woke up every morning praying that I could get myself out of bed and to work to keep training for 6, 7, 8 hours.
She was in shape anyway, so you can imagine that the girls, you really did.
It's demanding.
Yeah.
Thank you both very much for coming and seeing us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure. It's really fun.
It's good to talk to you, and Sucker Punch is in cinemas from tomorrow.